Well, first of all, let me also join Dr. Livingston in congratulating all of the graduates, your families, and those who have supported you over these 4 years or on your master's degree as well. But I also want to thank, of course, President Livingston, Dr. Kurt Shackmuth, Dr. LaMontagne, and all of the other faculty and administrative staff here at Lewis University responsible for bestowing this honor upon me and my family. I'm very grateful. But my wife, Carol, who is with us here today, helped to kind of keep this honor in perspective a little bit. As you heard, I was special agent in charge of the Chicago Division of the Secret Service, chief of police in Orland Park for 26 years, and now an honorary doctorate. But she said, you still have to take out the garbage. Is that true? Fair enough. So it was just 23 short years ago that I walked across the stage here to receive my master's degree in criminal social justice. One of the wisest decisions I ever made. So I have felt ever since that time that the value of the education here at Lewis University gave me the knowledge required to succeed and to excel in my long career as a chief of police. One of the toughest jobs in law enforcement, but also one of the most rewarding, because if you like to help people, it's the best job in the world. To that end, the curriculum here at Lewis was current and relevant, and my instructors were knowledgeable, smart, applied a lot of common sense to their teaching, thoughtful, interactive, and most importantly, were willing to listen and consider the views of their students. But frankly, in 1997, when I started out towards my master's degree, and I'd already spent 22 years in the Secret Service, and had retired in 1994. I was former special agent in charge of the Chicago Division. I spent 8 years on the Presidential Protective Division, protecting 3 different presidents. Following that, I was chief of police for 3 years before I started my master's degree. I said, what could they possibly tell me? As it turned out, an awful lot, which I am forever grateful. Along with the excellent education and outstanding instructors was the mentoring and networking with the instructors and fellow students that has lasted throughout my career and continues today. Don't lose that. And like most Lewis degree programs, the graduates of the programs have consistently risen to the top of their professions. My colleagues and classmates serve in security and law enforcement command positions throughout the metropolitan area, up to including superintendents of the Chicago Police Department, the Philadelphia Police Department, the Joliet Police Department, and chiefs of police throughout the Chicagoland area. When I attended Lewis for my master's degree, I did it at night and did it at the Oak Brook campus at that time, and also at the Chicago Police Training Academy, where I actually looked forward to the 2 or 3 hours in the classroom and sharing the latest trends and initiatives in law enforcement. And upon graduation, I actually missed the classroom camaraderie. But I learned a lot, and the benefits for me and my family have been huge and last to this day. I learned that I didn't have to reinvent policing, but simply take what I learned in the classroom and apply it to my department, whether it was operational matters, community policing, administrative concerns. It was truly like a laboratory for ideas and initiatives. Often, no hold bars exchanged between students and instructors. I learned that education in one's profession should never end, as the world in your profession, your future professions, will pass you by quickly if you don't continue to learn. And I am convinced that being a chief of police in Orland Park for over 26 years, when the national average for a career of chief of police is 4 to 6 years, must have had something to do with my education at Lewis and the network that I developed during that time. And armed with the knowledge that I gained here, my command staff in the Orland Park Police Department, several of which were also Lewis graduates, We turned the Orland Park Police Department into what became the gold standard for policing that it is today. Now, as Dr. said, as President Livingston said, every career and every profession has its highs and low moments. And how you prepare for them and how you handle these events will define you both as a professional and as a person. And as a Lewis graduate, you are better prepared than most for those highs and lows, those failures. In my Secret Service career, it was on March 30th, 1981, that during and after the attempted assassination of President Reagan, that became one of those moments in time for me, one of those highs and lows that defines your life. On the day I got out of the hospital, I was invited, actually I would say ordered, to come down to see the president, President Reagan. And we had a short conversation about the future and about what had happened. And I was on my way out the door with my wife and two of my children at the time. And President Reagan stopped me and he said, "Tim, listen, it was McCarthy, Reagan, Delahanty, and Brady that got shot that day. What the hell did this guy have against the Irish?" The point was, however, we all go through critical incidents, highs and lows in our career. And for me, it was a low. That was not a great day. However, we're all going to go through critical incidents, not necessarily shootings, but car crashes, the failures that President Livingston talked about, and it's how you handle those in life. Now, some people, when they go through a critical incident, can never go back to what they were doing quite as effectively as they once did. Others, they go back, but it still has an effect on them. And the other third, the largest majority, go back just as successfully as they were and move on from there. So it was a great lesson for me at the age of 31 of how to move on with life. After that, my policing career in Orland Park, we had many crime reduction initiatives, technology advancements, community policing, outreach programs, but probably the one I'm most proud of during that time was our CIT program, our Crisis Intervention Training Program. One of the toughest incidents that police run into is our interaction with those suffering from mental illness, especially when it's aggravated by drug and alcohol abuse. So almost 10 years ago, we trained about 45 of our 120 officers and supervisors with a 40-hour class on recognizing mental illness, not treating it, recognizing it. And it spread through the department. We started out with our department. It turned out that 5 other departments joined us in this effort. Shortly thereafter, we received a $750,000 grant from SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration, and it expanded to the 5 departments, joined now by Trinity Services, who provided real-time counseling and assistance to those calls where we had with the mentally ill. That money runs out in February, but just Thursday, the St. George Corporation that operated Payless Hospital before its merger provided a $1 million grant to be able to continue these services for the mentally ill, and now it's 9 departments in the south and southwest suburbs. So I'm very proud that we're now dealing with people with mental illness in a far more progressive fashion as ever happened before. What they talk about is being done. It's being done. But now is the time for your generation to start stepping up, and we need to turn over the reins to all of you. It is now time for all of you to start your careers and apply what you have learned here at Lewis to the real world, to make a difference, no matter how small or how great, and hopefully address the issues that President Livingston talked about. Because you need to make this world a better place for your generation and the next one. But before I close, let me relate a short story, and I'm stealing quotes from former Notre Dame football coach Lou Holtz, a great speaker, an outstanding speaker. He told a story about how to be happy in life, in your profession and in your career. And it is most fitting, I believe, as you are graduates of Lewis University, a Roman Catholic and Lasallian University. So Coach Holtz said, if you want to be happy for an hour, have a steak. If you want to be happy for a day, go golfing. If you want to be happy for a week, go on a cruise. But for me, he said, it's like going to jail with a chance to drown. But finally, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, that somehow, some way, keep God in your life. Thank you. God bless you. Good luck in your future careers.